Step into the Sumatran rainforest, a world of ancient green, alive with the buzz of insects and the calls of hidden creatures. This is one of Earth's oldest, most biodiverse places, where evolution has crafted wonders for millions of years. Deep within this jungle, the Sumatran rhinoceros once thrived, a shy, solitary animal, the smallest and most elusive of all rhinos. Unlike its African cousins, this rhino is a ghost of the forest, shaping the ecosystem by dispersing seeds and browsing saplings. Today, finding a Sumatran rhino is like chasing a myth. Fewer than 50 remain, scattered in isolated forest pockets, their kingdom reduced to fragments. The silence where their calls once echoed is a heartbreaking testament to their plight. This is a desperate race against extinction, a story of survival, human impact, and hope. The fight to save the Sumatran rhino is one of the most urgent conservation battles of our time. Their fate rests entirely in our hands. The clock is ticking. What makes the Sumatran rhino unique? It's the only Asian rhino with 2 horns and a coat of reddish-brown hair, earning it the nickname hairy rhino. This hair hints at its ancient origins, a living relic from the Ice Age, more closely related to the extinct woolly rhino than any living species. It's the smallest rhino, perfectly adapted to move through dense rainforest. Sumatran rhinos are also surprisingly vocal, communicating with whistles and moans that echo through the jungle. Genetically, it stands alone, a direct link to a prehistoric world. Losing the Sumatran rhino would erase an entire evolutionary branch, not just a species. Every other rhino belongs to a different, more modern group. The Sumatran rhino is a solitary guardian of an ancient genetic legacy. Its survival tests our commitment to preserving the full tapestry of life. Saving it means saving a chapter millions of years in the making. Not long ago, the Sumatran rhino's range stretched from the Himalayas to Borneo, thriving in rainforests and mountain moss forests. They were keystone species, shaping entire ecosystems. But relentless hunting and habitat destruction shattered their world. One by one, rhinos vanished from India, Myanmar, Thailand, and Malaysia. Today, only a few isolated populations survive in Indonesia, mainly in Sumatra's protected parks and a tiny group in Borneo. These are not vast territories, but fragmented islands of habitat surrounded by human activity. Rhinos are trapped, unable to roam or find mates. Their populations dangerously isolated. Even within national parks, poaching and encroachment threaten their last refuges. The once mighty kingdom is now a handful of besieged fortresses. Their future depends on our ability to protect these final strongholds. Finding a Sumatran rhino in the wild is like searching for a ghost. Masters of camouflage, they leave only faint clues, a footprint, a wallow, a pile of dung. Researchers trek for weeks through dense jungle, relying on camera traps for rare glimpses. Most images capture deer or tigers, but a single grainy photo of a rhino sparks hope. With fewer than 50 left, even experts struggle to know how many survive. In many areas, months of searching yield no fresh signs. This elusiveness makes protection nearly impossible. You can't save what you can't find. The Sumatran rhino is a phantom, haunting forests it once ruled. For local communities, seeing one is a legend, not a memory. The search is now a desperate hunt for hope, a sign that this ancient species still endures. The Sumatran rhino's recent history is a series of last sightings and local extinctions. In Malaysia's Sabah, the last wild rhinos were brought into captivity, but hopes for breeding were dashed by illness and infertility. By 2019, the species was declared extinct in Malaysia, a devastating loss. In Sumatra, even strongholds like Gunung Loisa National Park saw rhino numbers dwindle to near invisibility. Camera traps last confirmed a rhino there in 2012. Since then, silence. Experts fear the species may be functionally extinct in some areas. These last sightings are more than sad stories, they're warnings. Protecting forests isn't enough if populations fall below a critical threshold. Rhinos are being lost not just to poachers, but to isolation and solitude. Each last rhino story is a chapter of extinction unfolding in real time. The crisis is accelerating, and only urgent action can prevent total loss. We are running out of time. The Sumatran rhino's decline is driven by two deadly forces: poaching and habitat loss. For centuries, rhinos have been hunted for their horns, falsely believed to have medicinal powers. Rhino horn is just keratin, no more medicinal than fingernails, but demand remains high, fueling a black market worth more than gold. Poachers, often part of organized crime, use snares and guns, leaving rhinos to die agonizing deaths. Meanwhile, vast rainforests are cleared for palm oil and paper, shrinking the rhino's home to tiny fragments. Deforestation makes rhinos easier targets and exposes them to new dangers. As forests shrink, rhinos are squeezed into smaller areas, making poaching even easier. The double threat of poaching and habitat loss has pushed the species to the brink. Conservation must fight on both fronts, protect rhinos and secure their forests. Only then can we hope to save them. Beyond poaching and deforestation, isolation is a silent killer. With rhinos scattered in tiny groups, many live out their lives alone, unable to find mates. Female rhinos need regular pregnancies to stay fertile. Without breeding, they develop reproductive problems. Every year a female remains alone. Her chances of contributing to the species fade. The gene pool is shrinking, raising the risk of inbreeding and health problems. Each rhino carries unique genes vital for survival. When one dies without reproducing, that legacy is lost forever. This crisis has forced a shift in conservation strategy. Protecting rhinos in the wild is no longer enough. Experts now focus on bringing isolated individuals together in managed breeding centers. It's a risky, complex operation, but leaving them alone means certain extinction. The loneliness of the Sumatran rhino demands urgent, bold action. Amid the crisis, hope shines at the Sumatran Rhino Sanctuary in Kambas National Park. Here, rescued rhinos live in semi-wild enclosures, given a chance to meet, mate and multiply. Dedicated teams of vets and scientists work tirelessly to understand and support their complex biology. In 2012, the birth of Undatu, the first Sumatran rhino born in captivity in Indonesia in over a century, proved success was possible. Since then, more calves have been born, including a third-generation male in 2025. Each birth is a victory against extinction, adding priceless genetic diversity. The sanctuary's goal: build a healthy, diverse population for future reintroduction. This is not a zoo, but an ark, pulling a species back from the brink. The dream is to one day return these rhinos to secure wild forests. Every new calf is a step closer to that future. Saving the Sumatran rhino is a global effort, combining fieldwork, science, and international teamwork. Rhino protection units, made up of local rangers, patrol forests daily, removing snares and deterring poachers. Their courage is matched by scientists using genetic analysis to track rhinos and guide breeding decisions. At sanctuaries, reproductive specialists pioneer assisted breeding and in vitro fertilization, aiming to save even the rarest genes. The Sumatran Rhino Rescue Alliance unites governments, NGOs, and experts worldwide, pooling resources and knowledge. Zoos and research centers share expertise, making this a truly global mission. The challenge is too big for any one group. Collaboration is essential. Recent births have sparked new optimism, proving that science and dedication can turn the tide. The strategy: protect wild rhinos, expand captive breeding, and rescue isolated individuals. Saving the Sumatran rhino is about more than one species. It's about our responsibility to the planet. The race against extinction is on. For the first time in decades, there's real hope we can win.